Don't let your boyfriend keep you from meeting your husband. I know that sounds a little strange, but hear me out. I'm AALIYAH Jay if you're new here. So I have a whole bunch of makeup products that I'm gonna be using. All the makeup products in this little get ready with me are gonna be listed down below. So I'm a woman, just like you, right? So a lot of us have the same type of experience, especially in the love department. We probably meet a boy, we fall head over heels. Keyword, I said boy. And we're constantly wondering if this person is like our person. Like, I know I had several experiences where I thought I was with the love of my life, but I also questioned it a lot as well. And this is where I tell you, if you are fantasizing life without this one person, that is not your person. Whether it be a friend, a relationship, like I said, I know the title is a little controversial, but I'm gonna teach you a few ways where you can prioritize yourself and not settle for the person you are not meant to be with. Okay, number one, know your worth and stand on business. Knowing your worth is way easier said than done, but the good part about it is that it can be done. A lot of people don't realize that knowing your worth comes with a lot of responsibility, discipline, and self-reflection. Yes, you have to manage all of these things along with trying to eat, trying to socialize. Yes, this is life. It definitely sucks and it definitely seems really hard to do, but once you get it down pat, you are a powerful queen. And as you continue the road to self-discovery, which I hope all of you guys that are watching this are always on, self-discovery does not have an ending. You are always going to be discovering new things about yourself. But as you continue on the path of self-discovery, you'll realize that setting boundaries was actually easy after all, and all it actually takes is a little bit of bravery and a lot of confidence. Your self-worth truly does influence the world around you, including our friendships, our relationships, our dynamics in our family, how we show up for ourselves, and most of all, what this video is based on is the people that we fall in love with. If you feel like you don't deserve a lot, you will settle for someone who does not give you a lot. If you feel like you deserve the world, you will find a man who will give you the world with no questions asked, no yes, ands, ifs, or buts, okay? I've been in enough relationships where my boundaries have been crossed, but one thing I will say is that if my boundaries are crossed, I'm leaving. I have a strong belief system in my boundaries. Like, one thing you're not gonna do is cross me and what I told you that I'm not accepted. Is actually like not the easiest thing to do, because you know, you don't want to be mean, you don't want to be bitchy, and you don't want to be like just doing too much. I definitely have done this before and it has actually worked in my favor. It was actually one of the things that I was so proud of myself about, because I let him know firsthand, like, there will be no going back and forth. There will be no trying to figure it out. We won't even have a conversation. I'm just gonna straight up leave. When you start making excuses for this person's behavior and why they crossed your boundaries, then you are not standing on business and showing your self-worth. This is how you are gonna show up in the world, and this is how people are gonna take you. There's just certain things that you just should not tolerate, no matter how much you may like this person, love this person, or anything. It's kind of like what Tina Turner said, like, what does love have to do with it? If you really think about it, be for real. Like, what does love have to do with you crossing my boundaries that I'm just not going to tolerate and accept? Would your husband do these things that are crossing your boundaries? If your boyfriend is crossing your boundaries and this is not the type of husband you imagine having, girl, step 2, create your imaginary husband. Now this goes back to step 1. Remember when I asked, if there's someone crossing your boundaries, ask yourself, would my husband do this? Now this step can actually be a bit challenging. It can go left or right. Now before we go deeper on creating the love of your life in your head, I just want to say that do not have your expectations too high. Don't create a person in your head that is so perfect that it's actually unrealistic. Don't create a person who actually doesn't exist in the real world, because you'll always be disappointed. When I started to gain some self-worth, I started to write down in my journal like what kind of man I wanted. The person that I wanted to fall in love with, he was a certain type of guy. Maybe he believed in these things, and maybe he did this, and maybe he like was romantic. So I started to write down things in my journal that I wanted in a man. I literally was manifesting the love of my life. There's not one man on this planet, or even woman, that is perfect. One of my main things that I wanted when I found the love of my life is that he has to be family oriented. I am very family oriented, and I do not want to be with somebody who literally doesn't care to spend time with their family. Or I've definitely dated people who are not family oriented, and I just knew just from that it was just not gonna work out, because like, how are we gonna make a family together? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Another part of it all is, ask yourself, would my husband, would Aaliyah Jay's husband ever treat Aaliyah Jay like that? Take yourself out of your body and put yourself in third person and literally ask yourself, would my husband do this? And if the answer is no, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. That is not your man. And it's okay. I remember there was a point where I was manifesting my dream man, and everything that happened, I almost, because I knew I wasn't with my dream man. Like, I knew I didn't have him yet, and everything that was happening, I'm like, would my husband be doing this right now? And the answer was probably no or yes. And I just feel like if a lot of the answers are no, this is for when you're in the like dating scene. If the answer is no, then, but to leave the man who isn't treating you right requires a lot of self-reflection. And I say that because it is so easy to become the victim of your relationship and just of men in general. And to be quite honest, as women, we are victims, okay? We are victims of the male species. Now, we cannot control people who betray us, right? This is all they're doing. This is all their fault. But what we can do is control ourselves. This video is not an invitation to Pick Me Island. Like, we don't live there, right? So I'm not telling you to blame yourself, because like I said, we are victims of the male species. But I can tell you right now what you probably have done. What you have done is continue to allow this person to be your man. Yep, you've allowed it. It is a privilege to be with you. Simple as that. It's a privilege for any man to have you as their girlfriend. There are probably men who would literally walk across the sea, literally braid grass to be with you. And there's somebody here that is disrespecting you. It's time to look inside of yourself and say, okay, I must have gave this guy a wrong impression of me. And this is where you stand on business. Self-reflection is the best learning lesson. Like, you're gonna have to look at the ugly parts of yourself and really come to terms with, okay, you know, maybe I did this and maybe I did that and I've allowed this, and why have I done those things? Like, maybe my confidence and my self-esteem wasn't showing up. And it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be very, very hard, actually. You're gonna have to look at yourself and you're gonna notice the ugly parts of yourself that you kind of want to fix. And you even taking this accountability and looking at yourself is going to just prepare you for the right person. A lot of this has to do with self-validation, because when you find, if you don't love yourself, how can you love anyone else, honestly? Okay, step 4 is all about knowing that it is not you, it is them. You can literally be the most beautiful girl in the world, but if a man is not treating you how you think you deserve, that doesn't mean that you are not worth it. It absolutely does not mean that you are not beautiful either. I'm pretty sure that many of you watching are drop dead gorgeous. If I can look at you watching this video right now, I would probably drop dead from you being so gorgeous. But guess what? A man can think that and can still treat you wrong. And this is gonna be a hard reality to accept. You can be drop dead gorgeous and not be his type. Did you hear that correctly? You can literally be that girl and you can still not be his type. Yes, that is possible. I've had dating experiences. There's probably people who would probably look at me and be like, oh, like, she is so sweet, she's nice, and all of these things, right? There are also men who will probably say, oh, she's just really sweet and just really nice, like a little too nice. There are some men who probably just don't like the nice girls. There are men who don't like the educated girls, because guess what? We're too much for them. Because he's treating you wrong does not mean that that is something bad on your part. There's men who sometimes score beautiful, educated, smart, and talented women, but guess what they would rather give? Guess what they would rather be with? They would rather be with the dirty bum girl, and that's the total opposite from you. The man that you deserve is gonna recognize who you are and appreciate who you are, and you're gonna know exactly if they're for you or not. I've had men who have had me and they felt lucky to have me, but guess what? They were used to girls chasing after them. I don't chase men, and some men like girls who chase after them and who are very territorial. Some men like that, and so maybe I'm just not the person for him, and that's okay. That take away from my beauty, my self-worth, and the fact that I'm talented, amazing, and all of the above. Absolutely not. This goes back to everything that I said before. Self-reflection, knowing what your husband would and would not do, and then your self-worth. Your self-reflection is gonna tie all of this into a pretty ass bow, and the self-reflection part is gonna make you take accountability and also not blame yourself in the process. And the fifth step is knowing that there is men that will. Always remember that. There is a man who will. Do not settle. If there's certain things that you want, like maybe you want to be complimented every day and the person that you're with doesn't do that, there is a man out there who will do it, and he will be the entire package that you want. You don't have to compromise your boundaries and your wants for you to be in love. You don't have to say, well, this guy cheats on me, but he's cute and we have great nasty time. You have to understand that there is a man who will not cheat on you and give you great nasty time. You can have both, because you are worth that. You are worth so much. There is a man who would literally drink the ocean for you. There are men who are literally looking for someone like you. You can literally have the entire world. Like I said, the title of this video is a little controversial, but to be quite honest, this video is more about respecting yourself and loving yourself. All wraps into one bow of loving yourself. Hope this video helped you guys to really discover yourselves and use it as a tool to really not only find yourselves but gain confidence and not be a pushover. All we need is some setting spray, and we are literally ready to take on the day. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is not just tips about men. This is more so tips to take on through life with yourself, for yourself, in any relationship that you have, friendship, family, anything that you have. You can do this, girls. You got this, girls. Let me know if you guys want more girl chats. Thank you guys for tuning into this video with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.